What's up, guys? So it's an absolutely gorgeous day to be up flying today, and my paramotor is almost out of gas, and I didn't have any gas left over in my cans, so I am pulling up to the local airport to get some AvGas. We're gonna get 10 gallons of aviation fuel. I'm gonna mix that with some oil and hopefully get up in the air. So each of these gas cans holds 5 gallons of fuel. I have found that mixing the oil 45-to-1 has worked best for my machine after checking the spark plugs and just making sure it's not too rich or too lean. So I'm going to go ahead and mix in 14 ounces of oil for each 5 gallons of fuel. Alright, so each of these 5-gallon drums now has the 14 ounces of oil in it. I'm going to go ahead and close them up and give them a good shake, and they will be ready to go. Now, every time I get ready to fill my tank in my paramotor, I go ahead and give the gas tank a good shake just to make sure everything is all good and mixed up. So that'll keep me flying for the next 15 hours or so. So after shaking up the fuel and the oil mixture, I'm going to go ahead and use a siphon tube and transfer some gas from the can into my fuel tank. Place one end of the fuel tank. This end has a little glass ball bearing inside, and you put it in the can and you just shake it up and down until it starts flowing. Now, I know by experience, you know, this much fuel from the bottom all the way up to here is good for at least 2 hours of flight. And for those of you wondering about the math on the 45-to-1 ratio, here's a little screenshot of the math that I've done to come up to 14 ounces for every 5-gallon can.
Going to try to pop this wing up and get it going. Let's give it a run up. I can hear feedback when I turn my head to the side. There we go. I think my wire was loose. Much better. Well, the first part of this flight, video-wise, was a bust. And I guess the wire to my mic was loose. Skipped that on the pre-flight. And soon after takeoff, there was a helicopter that flew by me I was at about 600 feet, they were probably at about 1,200 feet, and it came in behind me. I had to turn around and take a look at it. That was pretty cool. Skies are so clear, you can see forever. So this past weekend was Easter weekend, and I drove my daughter, my whole family went down to North and South Carolina to visit colleges. We took a look at College of Charleston, we looked at Clemson, we looked at UNC Chapel Hill, and we looked at NC State. By far, out of all of those, she liked Clemson the best, so for all you Clemson fans out there, looks like we have another recruit. Looking at all those colleges, we drove about 2,000 miles, spent about 31 hours in the car, lots of driving. And, I don't normally rant about things, but there is one thing that absolutely drives me crazy. It's people texting texting and looking at their phones while they're on the highway. I would think that by now, everyone has learned that texting and driving, especially when you have a passenger in the passenger seat that can do it for you, is deadly. I had two cars swerved right into my lane, and guess what they were doing? Texting. Unbelievable. You know, like I said, I'm not one to rant about things, but come on, guys, you gotta put the phones down while you're driving, and especially at highway speeds, it's just so deadly. You know, that's enough about that. Put them down. So I'm looking on my phone, strapped here to my leg, and what appears but a comment on one of my videos. Who's it from? The Super Del Shanze. You know, I'm not going to open the text, but the first couple words of it are so funny to me because every comment he leaves in any video, unless the person is flying a flat-top paramotor, starts like this. The guy in this video, talking about me, is flying the absolute worst and least safe equipment on the market. Come on, Dal. You gotta give it up, man. Everyone knows what you're about. You don't have to hype yourself on everyone else's channel. It just gets so tiresome, man. You know, I don't even dislike the guy, right? I think he's excellent at what he does. I think he's very talented. No, you're very talented. You have lots of skills when it comes to the paramotor and to the paraglider, right? I get it. Paraglider handling is, you know, what you shout about and what you represent. I get it. But you don't have to bash people's channels and make comments about other people's, you know, equipment. My equipment's just fine, man. I'm doing great. Been flying for 5 years with the same motor. Alright guys, more in a bit. So the winds have, looks like the winds have really picked up. I am facing this way, and I am going to my left. It is about 7 o'clock, so I've been up for about a little over an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes, something like that. I'm gonna head on back, check out the windsock, and put it down. Alright, so I'm back over the LZ. And the windsock does tell me it's pretty windy down there. Ooh, it is nice and bumpy right now. Go ahead and pop out of my seat, kill the motor, try to come in right here next to my Jeep. Alright. The wing doesn't even want to go down. Alright. That was a good flight. Peace out, guys. See you on the next flight.